found yourself putting off something you actually, enjoy? It's a weird habit, isn't it? But we all do it. So in this explainer, we're going to dive into the psychology behind why we postpone pleasure.
I mean, it's a strange question, right? We all get procrastinating on like our taxes or doing the laundry, but the good stuff, the things we're genuinely excited about, why on earth do we put those off? Think about this for a second. You've got that really nice bottle of wine sitting there. Maybe it was a gift or you splurged on it, and every time you look at it, you think, nah, not tonight. I'm saving it for a really special occasion. Or hey, what about this one? You think of an old friend, someone you haven't talked to in way too long, and you're like, I should totally call them. But then you pause. You think, well, I need to have like a whole hour free for a really good, deep conversation. And so you put it off. Same thing with, say, that new museum you've been wanting to check out. You tell yourself you'll go on the perfect day. You know, when the sun is shining, you've got no other plans, and you're in just the right mood. And what happens? You just keep waiting.
So this all brings us to our first big idea here. This is not your typical procrastination. What we're talking about is the joy we actively choose to postpone.
Right. I mean, usually when we think about procrastination, it's all about delaying pain, right? The boring stuff, the hard stuff, the things we just don't want to do. But it turns out we have this really similar and honestly kind of more confusing habit of delaying pleasure too.
So how do you even study something like this? Well, believe it or not, the pandemic gave researchers a huge, if obviously unfortunate, clue. It basically became a giant natural experiment. And here's the really surprising thing they found. It's totally counterintuitive. The longer people went without doing something they enjoyed, like going to a restaurant, the more likely they were to keep waiting, even after everything opened back up.
And this quote from the lead researcher, Ed O'Brien, just hits the nail on the head. He said people were waiting for the perfect time to celebrate that coming back moment. They didn't want their first meal out after lockdown to just be, some random Tuesday night. They wanted it to be an event, a real celebration. So, ironically, all that anticipation just made them wait even longer.
Okay, so this whole behavior actually has a name, and understanding it is really the key to all of this. Researchers call it the perfect moment trap. So here's the deal with this trap. We build up all this psychological drama around an event, right? The pressure for it to be absolutely perfect becomes overwhelming. We start thinking that the experience shouldn't be wasted, so we wait and wait for this ideal moment that, let's be real, might never even show up.
But here's the thing. This isn't just some quirky little habit we have. As the researchers found out, there's a real, measurable cost to falling into this trap. Okay, so to really test this, they set up this brilliant little experiment. They gave people a simple choice. Option 1, text a close friend you haven't talked to in a while. Option 2, do a completely mind-numbing, boring task, literally just transcribing nonsense text. I mean, the choice seems obvious, right? Text the friend, it's fun, it's easy. But here's where it gets interesting. The results were incredible, and they totally illustrate the trap. When it had been a long time since people had spoken to their friend, a shocking number of them actually chose the boring task instead. Think about that. The longer the wait, the more pressure they felt to have this perfect catch-up conversation. And that pressure made them avoid what should have been a really simple, happy moment. And this is where we see the real cost. The people who fell into that trap, the ones who chose the boring task, reported being less happy immediately after the experiment. By putting off a small moment of joy, they literally made themselves less happy right then and there. And listen, this wasn't just a fluke. They did a follow-up with over 1,000 people and found the exact same pattern. They even checked for other things you'd think might explain it, like maybe social anxiety or how close the friends were. Nope, the effect was still there, strong as ever. This is a real, genuine, cognitive trap that our brains fall into. So what's the big takeaway from all this research? Well, it's a pretty simple but really powerful message about our own happiness. Let's just break it down one more time. First, we fall into this trap of waiting for the perfect moment to enjoy something. Second, all that waiting just builds up the pressure, which actually makes us more likely to keep on waiting. And third, this whole cycle makes us less happy in the present, all for the sake of some idealized moment that, frankly, might never even happen. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What's some joy that you're saving for a perfect moment? Is it that bottle of wine? that phone call to an old friend, that trip you keep meaning to take. Maybe, just maybe, the perfect moment is simply right now.